Oh, yeah?
Hello. I'm your host for this evening. Damn it. So sit back and relax, because we're about to play some System Shock 2. You know what this game is. Even if you've never played this game, you've heard the name. It's that legendary. This game came out in 1999, and it was done by Looking Glass Studios, which did Thief, and in collaboration with Irrational Games, who went on to find fame in BioShock. Ken Levine, who pretty much designed this game, was the brainchild behind it, would go on to make BioShock, which would take the world by storm. He wanted to make System Shock 3, but didn't have the license for it. If you ever want to read about the story of the lost System Shock license, it's actually a pretty interesting story. But yeah, he didn't have the license to make it, so he did BioShock instead, and everyone's played that fucking game. And yeah, System Shock 2 is absolutely famous. It's legendary. It was known as one of the scariest games ever made. It may not feel that way now, but I think definitely in the audio department, it still holds up. It's very creepy. But, you know, it was kind of the first game I can think of, the earliest game that combined horror, first-person shooters, and RPG mechanics, light RPG mechanics, into one package. Fear wouldn't exist without this game. The game Fear. Dead Space would not exist without this game. Prey would not exist without this game. There's so many first-person shooters that combine the mechanics that System Shock basically, I'm not sure if they came up with, but popularized in this. Although this wasn't the first game to use audio logs, that honor goes to System Shock 1. This game definitely popularized it, which is a common trope now. Basically, like, it's one of those classic games that was reviewed well, but sold poorly, and just happens to be the story of any classic game like that, like Thief, reviewed well, sold poorly. But like, it's undeniable the influence this game has had, and it's basically it helped to make Looking Glass Studios almost become like a mythological studio, and it had so many bright minds working there that would go on to do great things, like Ken Levine. Warren Spector would make Deus Ex. There's just so many great people started off at Looking Glass Studios, and they make some great shit at a time where things weren't standardized, and they were trying new things, and they would come up with brilliant fucking projects, and this is one of them. And we're going to go ahead and stop talking and get on this game. I am playing with a few reshaders just to give the game a little bit of a facelift. We're going to start a new game here. Normal. This game can be hard enough. And let's go.
Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone, panting and sweating as you run through my corridors. How can you challenge a perfect, immortal machine? In 2072, a rogue artificial intelligence known as Shodan lost her mind. In her limitless imagination, Shodan saw herself as a goddess, destined to inherit the earth. That image was snuffed out by the hacker who created her.
February 3rd is the day the magic happens. The Von Braun, the first starship in history capable of traveling at faster than light speed, will undertake her maiden voyage. This incredible journey is the result of teamwork between the UNN Protectorate and the incredible scientific minds at the newly relicensed Tri-Optimum Corporation. Imagine being able to travel to distant star systems in a period of weeks. It's all part of Tri-Op's commitment to the future. The Von Braun is packed with over 1.8 billion flight, scientific, and security systems, nearly all developed by Tri-Optimum and its wholly owned subsidiaries. Providing security for the Von Braun as she plows through the heavens will be the UNN Rickenbacker. At her helm will be no less than Captain William Bedford Diego himself, hero of the Battle of Boston Harbor during the Eastern States Police action. This incredible union of government and corporation is made possible by an intricate series of docking mechanisms that will allow the Rickenbacker to piggyback its way into jump space. Sleek, fast, revolutionary, Who knows what wonders await our crews in the bosom of the cosmos? All we do know is that it's a great day for mankind.
This is Dr. Marie Delacroix of the UNN Tampon. We've been hijacked by an unknown force. Ship security has been compromised. Do not allow the ship... Repeat, do not allow the ship to leave under any circumstances. I don't know what we're up against here.
So you really don't need to know anything about System Shock 1 to play this game or to appreciate it. I mean, all you really need to know about System Shock 1 is you played a hacker that they tried to use Shodan, unlock her full potential to do some shady shit, and she went rogue, went crazy, and then the hacker went onto Citadel Station and basically took her down and destroyed her. And that's all you need to really know about the first game going in.
Welcome to the Ramsey Center UNN recruitment facility. Please watch your step when leaving the train. The grav shafts at the end of the hall will take you to the street-level training and recruitment center. Please proceed to the grav shafts.
So what we're doing right now is essentially going to be building our character for the game. This is 4 years before the events of the game.
Step into the grav shafts to proceed to the street-level recruitment.
Okay. And enjoy the sights, because this is the only time we're ever going to see the sky. Happy Noodle. And one of the few times we'll ever see people. Look at those faces, man. They're so angular and jagged. 1999, man. Over here, there's a secret. If you mantle up onto here, you'll find a basketball, which if you pick up and keep in your inventory for most of the game, you'll eventually find a basketball court, which if you make a hoop with it, is that the term? Make a hoop? I don't know sports. Sue me. It's a little Easter egg. Isn't that cool? All right, let's move on.
Before you choose your career, you'll want to learn some basic abilities. First, you should go into the basic training center. When you're done with basic training, proceed to the advanced training area.
Cool. We're going to do the training, just in case you haven't played this game before. The first episode is basically just going to be character creation.
To pick up some basic skills you'll need to get by in the service, enter this CyberLink booth. Inside, you'll learn the basic skills you'll need to get started.
Sexy.
Welcome, trainee. While you're in our virtual training courses, we provide you with a simulated cyber interface. This training interface is identical to an actual military-grade cyber interface. Now, let's try it out. Move the mouse. See how it changes where you look? That means you're in shoot mode.
Cool.
Hit the tab key. This puts you in use mode, where you can use your mouse to interact with items in the world.
I'll use your mom.
Open your primary MFD, or multifunction display, by clicking on the MFD button near the bottom of the screen. This display shows your strengths in various areas. When you're ready to continue, press the tab key to go back to shoot mode. Try changing between modes until you get the hang of it. Follow the red path along the ground to the next training station.
I guess I should also say that I am using one small mod here. It's a HUD upscaler. If you get this game straight from Steam, your HUD is going to be very, very small because they didn't adjust the HUD with the higher resolutions. So I'm using a small mod to fix that.
To pick up items, center them on your screen and right-click. This will automatically place that item into your inventory. To view your inventory, press the tab key. You can move items around your inventory by left-clicking and dragging them around. To drop an item, drag it from your inventory into the 3D view and release the mouse button.
Like that. I'm also, just because, you know, of the respect this game deserves, I'm going to be doing a lot of reading. Because I think it's fun flavor text and it kind of fills out the world a little bit. So let's read about juice, bro. Produced from genografted fruit, in hydroponics tanks, the popular Tasty Fruit caffeinated fruit drink is chock full of vitamins, sugar, and fruit pulp. Nice. Let's read about chips. Krako's potato chips, voted the UNN's national food product in the early 21st century, are made from slices of common potatoes deep-fried in hydrogenated oils. This treat is often supplemented with vitamins to boost its questionable nutritional value. When you need a tasty treat, Krakos are the chips to beat. Eat them by the bunch or by pound. New improved Krakos won't let you down. Krakos Neuronet Promotion 2111. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of stupid shit you can pick up, and then there's like lore about it. It's hilarious. So we're gonna do that.
To use items like buttons in computers, center them in your view and click the right mouse button. All usable items will have brackets around them. Highlight the button on the pillar and right-click. This will activate the lift.
Nice.
Try it out. If you can still see the object before you is a med hypo. Pick it up and then press tab to go into use mode. Right-clicking on the med hypo will use it and restore some needed hit points. Your hit points are displayed by a bar in the lower left corner of your screen. Many objects in your inventory can be used by right-clicking on them.
Let's read about the hypo. Designed as a quick fix for minor injuries, the Chemical Medical Hypo injects a healing enzyme which can make a crude assessment of the patient's condition and somewhat alter the chemical makeup of the hypo to fit the case. In addition, the hypo contains a mixture of standard painkillers and anticoagulants. Not meant as a treatment for serious injury, the Med Hypo will do in a pinch. The only downside is the rather sharp stick of the over-engineered vac needle, which was nearly recalled 12 years ago on its introduction. Strong litigation by Triop's legal department eliminated that potentially costly eventuality. What's also good to know is that this isn't an insta-heal. If you click it, notice the health points. It goes up by 2. And then if you wait a few seconds, it will actually... So it's basically a heal over time. That's important to know. You don't just get to heal in the middle of a fight. You gotta think about it.
See the crate in front of you?
Yeah.
To search it, center it on your screen and right-click. If you are in use mode, simply move the pointer to the crate and right-click. To take an item from that container, simply left-click on it. This will automatically place that item in your inventory. To close the container window and return to shoot mode, press the tab key.
So this is a chemical. They all say, I think, the same thing. Research software and nanite-driven molecular processing has come to mean that the necessary material for performing basic research no longer includes complex organics and complex synthetics. Instead, chemical elements serve as raw materials for the nanite research processors and are combined as needed. Chemical containers such as this one are carefully designed to prevent the material from reacting with the environment either chemically or energetically, and are fitted with dispensing nozzles that dock with most standard nanite injection ports. We'll deal more with chemicals when we actually get into research.
One of the most important tools you have as a soldier is your PDA. This device stores audio logs, emails, and other useful information. Click on the disk icon near the bottom of your screen to bring up the PDA display. Currently, the contents of your PDA are empty.
Not anymore.
Now pick up the audio log in front of you.
I did. Whatever. You can find your help text here, any notes, your logs, which will be... there's a lot of logs in this game. And then any emails here. So let's listen to the log.
This message is coming from the audio log you just picked up. You can use your PDA at any time to play any audio log or email you've received. In the field, the PDA is also used for keeping track of your current mission objectives and obtaining help information.
There we go.
Now it's time to learn about jumping and mantling. To jump, simply press the space bar. Some surfaces can be mantled onto by holding down the space bar. Mantling lets you pull yourself up to ledges and other high places in front of you. To climb a ladder, simply walk into it and look upward. You'll automatically start climbing the ladder.
If the mechanics in this game seem very thiefy, that's because they are. This was built on the Dark Engine, which only ever was used in 3 games: Thief, Thief 2, and this one. So even the sounds of landing are straight from Thief. Even the movements of the enemies we encounter will feel like Thief. It's like, yeah, this is basically Thief.
You've done well. Remember, if you're unclear on any aspect of what you've just learned, you can repeat the training as often as you wish. To pick up some basic skills you'll need to get by
Alright, let's
in
go in
service,
advanced.
enter this. If you've completed basic training, you're ready for the advanced lessons provided here. Advanced training will familiarize you with the 3 key areas of military service: weapons training, technical training, and psionics training. Approach the Cyberlink booth of your choice to train in that area. When you finish training in the 3 areas, proceed directly to the recruitment center to choose and start your military career.
Cool. Weapons.
Alright, wannabe. If you want to learn the weapon skills it takes to even think about joining the Marines, come on in. We're looking for a few good men.
Why the hell does like every military guy in every game have to have that fucking accent? It's ridiculous.
Good to have you on board. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, the UNN has kindly provided you with a virtual cyber interface and all the simulated skill levels you'll need for the training tasks. But don't get too cocky. They'll disappear once you leave the booth.
Cock.
Now we'll teach you how to handle a firearm. Pick up the pistol and the clip from the table. You can equip the weapon in one of 2 ways. Bring up your inventory and drag the pistol to your weapons equip slot near the right-hand side of your inventory. If that's too slow for you, you can use the hotkeys on the keyboard. Press 2. If the pistol was in your inventory, it will equip for you automatically. To lock and load the ammo clip, hit the R key or hit the reload button on the lower right corner of your screen. Once you've loaded the firearm, take a shot at the dummy robot by pressing your left mouse button when in shoot mode. Notice how its health bar gets shorter as you chip away at it.
Yeah.
Some items need to be charged with energy before they can be used. Pick up the laser pistol. Now use the recharging station nearby. The recharge station will juice up all of your energy-based items. Weapons, batteries, you name it.
Cool. Energy weapons are good in a pinch, because as long as you can have access to one of these guys, you essentially have infinite ammo. The laser pistol is the only one that maybe I might use, because I'm not going to focus on energy weapons in this game. So I won't really have access to much energy weapons beyond the basic laser pistol. But let's read about them. The pistol requires a standard weapon skill of 1 in order to use. Both modifications to the pistol increase damage. The first also increases the clip size, while the second decreases the reload time. Developed by Trioptimum's military division, the Talon M2A3.45 caliber pistol is a standard issue firearm provided to all UNN military personnel. After 23 years in service, the weapon has been designed to accept a number of kinds of ammunition, including the standard steel-jacketed rounds, uranium-tipped armor-piercing rounds, and even nanite-based anti-personnel rounds. The laser pistol requires an energy weapon skill of 1. The first modification to this weapon increases the energy capacity, while the second reduces the energy consumption. Both modifications increase the damage. The deadlier cousin of the spark pistol, that was a game I think a gun from the first game. The Apollo H-4 laser pistol relies on refracted light instead of electricity to damage its target. While it has a fairly large battery, the weapon must be replenished at a recharge station. The overcharge setting can be used to get out of a tight spot, puts an inordinate strain on the unit's energy supply. Wait, what? Normal, over. Oh. Oh, I see. It uses a lot of ammo but does massive damage. And you can only use it once every few seconds. I didn't realize I had a recharge. You learn something new every day. Fuck. Let's read about the bullets. This 45 standard round is encased in a solid steel jacket. These rounds provide general purpose stopping power. The main advantage of this ordnance is that it's extremely cheap to produce and therefore readily available. No target type is either particularly vulnerable nor resistant to these rounds. Cool. And I think, oh, here.
Weapons are not fine wines. They do not get better with age. The colored dot on the lower right corner of the screen tells you what kind of shape your firearm is in. Green is good, red is bad. To fight the effects of wear and tear, a soldier with maintenance skill can use a maintenance tool to improve the condition of his weapon. Just pick up the tool, open your inventory, and drag the tool onto your pistol. Remember that maintenance tools are only good for a single use.
So you'll see my pistol is at 5. This is actually one mechanic of the game I don't like, and not many people do. Your weapons degenerate extremely fast. You're going to be finding yourself using these a lot towards the end of the game. It feels like every 3 or 4 minutes you're using one. It's a pain in the ass, and there's actually a couple mods out there, I think, that reduce the amount of weapon degeneration, because it's ridiculous how fast it goes down. It sucks. Gunnery sergeants everywhere make it a point of pride that their tool of choice isn't a loser, know-nothing, fix-it-all device. The better the maintenance skill of the operator, the more effect using the tool will have. These tools are disposable and can only be used once each. There's actually a lot of information you can read by reading things. That's why I'm doing it, because this game deserves respect, goddammit, and I'm going to read everything.
Good work. Now you're ready for the Marines.
Really?
Take a look at the other training areas first before you enlist. They might just come in handy.
I used a pistol and a laser pistol. I'm ready for the Marines, man. That's all you need. Let's do technical. So,
inside, we'll teach you the basics of some technical skills you'll need in the Navy.
So yeah, if it hasn't been apparent, obviously, this game is a combination of like standard weapons, Psy, or magic, really, and technical skills, which covers like hacking, research, modify, repair, things like that.
Welcome. You'll notice when you're in the Cyberlink booth, we'll provide you with a temporary cyber interface and the skills you need to accomplish the training tasks.
I know!
But they'll only last so long as you're in the booth.
You've already told me this. Like, everyone tells me this.
The object in front of you is a container of nanites.
Sweet.
Nanites are consumed whenever you perform technical tasks, such as hacking or repairing. When you pick up the container of nanites, they do not go in your general inventory, but are instead displayed in use mode on the bottom left of your screen.
Right here.
Walk over to the keypad by the door and try out hacking.
So nanites are basically money. Just think of it like that.
Use the keypad by right-clicking on it. To the right of the number pad, you'll see an orange tab labeled Hack. Left-click on the tab. Text will appear indicating the difficulty of the hack and any bonuses that apply. Click on the Start button to begin hacking. You'll see a grid of nodes. Clicking on a node will either turn it bright or dark. To successfully hack, you must connect 3 bright nodes in a straight line. Beware the ice nodes with the red outlines. If one of these turns dark, you fail the hack, and you might break the item you're working on or worse. You can restart your hack attempt at any time by hitting the reset button, though you'll have to pay the nanite cost again.
So we have an initial difficulty of 50%. Our hack skill level 3 has reduced it by 30. Our cyber stat has reduced it by 5, so the final difficulty is 15%, and there's 1 ice node on this. It costs 3 nanites to do. So this is the ice node. So every time you click on a square, it's light or dark, which all these are light. There we go, dark one. Dark one is bad, a light one is good. If you get 3 of these in a row, and it cannot be around corners, it has to be in a straight line, you've successfully completed the hack. If you click, the red ones are dangerous because if you click on it and it ends up being a dark node, you fail the hack. Or you can also set off the alarm, or you can blow up the fucking crate you're working on. They're dangerous, so keep an eye out for those. There we go. There you go. All right.
You can use nanites to buy items from replicators. To use a replicator, right-click on it.
Hi there.
Then left-click on the item you
Please make
wish
your
to purchase.
selection.
The item you purchased will drop into the slot below. Make sure you pick up your purchases before you leave.
So we can buy things like this.
Thank you for choosing Value Wrap.
It drops down and you can pick it up.
Hi there.
But
Please make your selection.
you can also get cheaper prices and sometimes secret items by hacking them. So let's hack this.
Hi there. Please make your selection.
Reinitialized.
So now we have standard bullets or anti-personnel bullets we can buy, med hypos and standard bullets. The chips and shit went away. So keep in mind, it's always good to hack these things if you have the ability, because they'll oftentimes have hidden items that you can only purchase once you do. Honestly, hack is one of the most critical skills in this game. If you don't have hack, you're going to have a hard time.
You learn the basics of the technical skills. There are several other technical skills you'll learn throughout the course of your career, such as repairing items and modifying weapons. The cyber interfaces for these tasks are similar to the hacking interface. Before you enlist in the Navy, try out the other training courses. They'll be useful.
Which brings me to one point. One thing about this game is that it's not very well balanced. There are certain skills that are absolutely stupid, and there are skills that you never need to upgrade more than once. Like, for example, research. If you have a research level of 1, you can do research. Upping your points in research only increases the speed at which that research is done, which is not necessary at all. If you really, really don't want to continue until that research is done, you can just sit and wait. Like, you don't need to dump any more points in it. And there are other skills like that too, which we can go into later, but let's go ahead and do magic.
Inside, you will learn how to reach out with your mind. Do not let fear block your path.
Uh-huh.
We've provided you with a virtual interface and the temporary ability to project simulated psionic powers.
Yep.
Once you leave this area, these powers will be lost to you.
Oh no.
The red bar at the lower left of your screen tells you how many psi points you have.
Right.
Psi points symbolize the current ability to use your psi powers. Psi hypos replenish your psi points. Try using a psi hypo and watch your psi points increase. When you've reached your maximum in psi points, move to the next station.
The Psy Booster Hypo contains a potent cocktail of tension relievers, dopamine inhibitors, and circulatory stimulators. A dose will increase your Psy points by 30, up to your maximum. The Surgeon General has warned that Psy Booster Hypos can be habit-forming and dangerous to your health. Note also that a manufacturer has used a special patented process to make these items unable to be duplicated by those who know the molecular duplication Psy discipline in order to protect their monopoly. So there is a Psy skill called molecular duplication, and it's saying you can't use it on this. If so, the game would break.
This Psy Amp amplifies your Psy powers and lets you project them into the real world. To equip it, pick it up, and then hit the tilde key. Firing the Psy Amp activates your currently selected Psy discipline. You currently have access to 2 disciplines, Cryokinesis and Kinetic Redirection. Go into Use mode and click on the arrows on the bottom right of the screen. This will cycle through your available Psy disciplines. Later, clicking on the arrows above the number to the left will allow you to select Psy disciplines from higher tiers. Use Cryokinesis to destroy the robot and Kinetic Redirection to pull that nanite container towards you. Be careful. Holding down the mouse button can augment the power, but holding it down for too long will cause burnout, which will damage you. If you run out of Psy points, use another Psy hypo.
So this is why I don't like using Psy. Psy is cool, but you can only have one power active at a time. If you need, like if you're in a firefight, right, and you need to use another one, you have to open up this, click this, choose the one you want. Oh, but it's not in this category. It's not one. It's 2 or 3, and then click through them until you find them, you know? Or you can go like this, and it's ridiculous. Like, you're trying to move, so you're trying to do it like this, and it's too clunky of a system. I don't like to use it. So you won't see me using Psy powers beyond the introduction here. I'm sorry about that. So let's go ahead and choose our Cryokinesis. Launches a heat-draining projectile at a target. Higher Psy increases damage. So the burnout, if you hold the mouse too long, it damages you a little bit and you lose it. So that's Cryokinesis. We also have Psy Pull. Psy Pull is not all that interesting. There's very few things in the game that you can't get. So, anyway, that's Psy. Let's read about the Psy Amp. Developed by Esper Industries, a critical branch of Triop's military R&D division, this controversial device allows psionically able individuals to amplify and project their powers into the world. Before the development of the Psy Amp, Psy powers were mostly only detectable in a lab environment. The amp contains and inhibits the normal diffusion problems inherent in Psy phenomena. The amp also allows the user to effectively channel their innate Psy powers to a number of prescribed effects. This device caused a furor in the furor? I forget how to pronounce it. I think it's furor. And the Psy community, primarily because of its obvious military applications, but also because of the amp's tendency to define psionic disciplines along a few specific and generally utilitarian axes. All right.
Mastery of the mind is a slow but rewarding process. Return to this area if you need more guidance. Before you enlist in the OSA, it would be useful to experiment in the other training courses.
It's also important to know that Psy is also much more expensive than technical and weapon skills, and because of that, you're not going to get too many Psy abilities. There's a lot to choose from, and you kind of have to pick a handful that you want.
Here's where you make your choice, soldier. Here's where you enlist in one of the 3 branches of the military. Once you decide on your branch of service, there's no going back. The shuttle will take you to a UNN orbital space station, where you'll receive a briefing regarding your yearly postings. Good luck.
So, we can join the Marines, which is weapon-focused. We can join the Navy, which is technical-focused. Or we can join the OSA, which is magic-focused. I've only ever done Marines, because I think the gunplay in this is better than the Psy play. But this time, just because I think it'll be a little bit more interesting, and I think Navy and Marines tend to kind of join, really, at the end of the game. We're going to focus on Navy this time. Start something new. Alright, so now we're actually going to start to build our character. This can be a little confusing for people that have played it the first time, because they think they're like playing the game right now, but they're really not. Year 1. This is our first posting.
Welcome aboard the space station Chesapeake Bay, sailor. It looks like you've picked up some standard weapon skills at basic on Coronado Island. Now it's time for your tour of duty. Your tour will consist of 4 postings over 4 years. In this man's Navy, you're given a choice of 3 different postings a year. It's up to you to decide what kind of career you want to have, so choose wisely. Just approach a shuttle bay to receive a briefing on a posting. If you think that posting is right for you, head into that bay to accept the assignment.
Cool. Look, a dude. We won't see too many of them. Alright. UNN Lucille Military Police.
The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. Those sailors can get pretty rowdy on these year-long cruises, so you better not be afraid of a tussle.
So this wouldn't be a bad choice, 1 modify and 1 strength.
The UNN Lucille is looking for volunteers for their military police detachment. The UNN Lucille is looking for an engineer's mate to help maintain the ship's core energy systems. There's some heavy lifting involved, sailor, but you'll learn your way around the high-tech equipment.
And this one is 1 repair and 1 strength,
Lucille is looking for an engineer's mate to help
which
maintain
is also
the ship's
decent.
core energy system. The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data control systems. You'll get your feet wet with the high-tech systems, but also expect some heavy lifting.
So we're going to go with hack, primarily because it's useful right out of the gate, whereas with repair and modify, you won't be dealing with right from the start. So we're going to go with hack.
The UNN Lucille is looking for an ops training officer to learn the ship's navigation and data...
February 12th, 2112. Your tour of duty aboard the UNN Lucille has concluded. You've spent a productive year. Captain Mayer was pleased with your work, especially with the initiative you showed in physical training. A friendly ensign showed you some back doors into the ship's primary data loop, and you spent your time off pumping good old-fashioned iron. Hell yeah! You've gained +1 hack and +1 strength. Year 2. Laverne Tactical Training School.
Laverne, Florida hosts the Navy's premier tactical training school. While maybe not as respected as the Marines facility at Fort Bush, there's a lot to be learned here.
Bush.
The UNN Pierce is ferrying liberated political prisoners back home from their detention near Saturn. The Pierce has been assigned a detachment of Marines and needs sailors to load, administer, and maintain the arms on board the ship.
Maintenance is a good one to have. If you maintain your weapons,
the UNN Pierce is ferrying liberated political... The UNN Carfax is undertaking a mission to examine a newly discovered Class B comet approaching the outer solar system. You'll likely pick up some useful skills working with the high-tech navigation systems aboard this newly commissioned heavy cruiser.
Cyber Affinity is nice, but we're not going to start with that. Honestly, the best choice here really is +2
Laverne,
standard
Florida
weapons.
hosts the Navy's premier tactical training school. While maybe not as respected...
February 11, 2113. Your tour of duty at the Laverne Tactical Training School has concluded. A year of firing ranges, mock boarding parties, and war games has done you good. You spent plenty of time with military-grade pistols, assault rifles, and even auto shotguns. You've gained +2 standard weapons. Year 3. Yamamoto 0G Training.
The Navy strongly encourages every sailor to undertake some amount of 0G training. A year at the Yamamoto space station in Earth's orbit will more than suffice.
Agility is not terribly important.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io, the third moon of Jupiter. Pros, there's no better way to improve stamina and survival skills. Cons, the 21.2% mortality rate.
Endurance is good to have.
The Navy maintains a survival training school on the surface of Io,
not terribly
the third moon
necessary
of
at the
Jupiter.
start.
The Navy's Marie Curie research facility on Aquinas 4 is currently conducting research on a new strain of spaceborne virus that killed 220,000 citizens of New Atlanta. To lift the quarantine, we must determine how the virus pierced the city's micronanite shielding.
This one is +1 research, which I'm going to do because we're going to use research right out the gate. And not only that, but we only ever need 1 research. So that will save us 10 cyber modules at the beginning of the game that we can put into something else. So because we need research to make the game easier, we're going to go ahead and take it. February 9th, 2114. Your tour of duty at the Marie Curie Research Facility has concluded. Congratulations on surviving the disaster, sailor. When the saboteurs removed the safety seals and released the virus into the atmospheric control regulators, you were one of the few to reach safety in time. However, you were able to pick up a few odds and ends of research techniques before the crap hit the fan. You've gained +1 research. Soldier, your application to join the crew of the Rickenbacker has been approved. Report to Shuttle Mayfair at Port San Francisco at 0400 on this date. Get ready to become part of history, soldier.
Shuttle A138, you have clearance for landing on the Von Braun in Shuttle Bay 2. Welcome aboard, soldier.
Reinitializing memory strings. Restoring patient memory. Restoring memory. Restoring memory.
Steady yourself, soldier. This is Dr. Janice Polito of the Computer Ops Staff of the Von Braun. You're safe for the time being. You're recovering from the effects of surgery and will be unable to remember any of the events of the last few weeks. You're on board the starship Von Braun and something's gone very, very wrong. Some kind of force has hijacked this ship. That's why you volunteered to be implanted with some experimental cybernetic implants. Rely on your cyber interface. It just might save your life. You must find an elevator and come up to Deck 4 to meet me. Deck 4. Can you remember that? But keep your eyes open. They're after us both now. Watch out. I'm getting strange readings from that radar dish outside the window. It's become unstable due to... Move! Take cover!
Critical decompression hazard in the cryo recovery suite. Evacuating.
Damn! Oh, there's already blood. Alright. This game starts just like System Shock 1. You wake up from a surgery suite with a bunch of augmentations, and you have no memory of what the fuck happened. Alright. On this body, we're going to find our good old trusty wrench, goddammit. A multi-purpose tool generally used for engineering purposes. However, it makes an effective makeshift weapon. When you hit someone over the head with 22 pounds of steel, they tend not to appreciate it. Taz Amanpour, VP Maintenance Crew. The wrench does not require any weapon skill to use. This is what we're going to use for a long time. Because this game... the later stages of the game, you're going to need a lot of ammo. And you want to save up your reserves. You want to save up as much health items and as much ammo as you can before it just becomes too difficult to use the wrench and you need to start using your ammo. But do that. Spend a lot of time with the wrench until it just becomes no longer useful or too hard to use, and it will pay dividends by the end of the game. So that's where we're going to go ahead and end this episode. Sorry if this one was a little bit boring. It is just character creation. I'm going to label it that. I'm going to call it episode 0, just in case you want to skip this one. And I will see you next time with the start of System Shock 2. You stay safe out there, and have a good night.